Good evening. My name is Chancha Chantha, and I'll be discussing the right to serve. As seen everywhere, you see the sign, "We reserve the right to refuse service to anyone." People have this belief that stems from protected classes under the federal anti discrimination law. In restaurants and near cash registers, like I said, you see these signs everywhere. But who can business owners really refuse service to? It's certainly not just anyone. For example, race or color, national origin or citizenship status, religion or creed, sex, age, disability, pregnancy, or genetic information, or even veteran status. The Religious Freedom Restoration Act of 1993 prohibits any agency, department, or official of the United States or any state from sustainably burdening a person's exercise of religion even if the burden results from a general rule. Except the government may burden a person's exercise of religion only if it demonstrates that application of the burden to the person, such as it furthers a compelling governmental interest and is the least restrictive means of furthering and compelling governmental interests. It sets forth provisions pertaining to judicial relief, attorney fees, and applicability. It declares that nothing in this act shall be construed or interpreted the clause of the First Amendment to the Constitution prohibiting the establishment of religion, the granting of the government funding, benefits, or exceptions, to the extent permissible under the clause, shall not be constitute a violation of this act. As used in this act, granting does not include the denial of governmental funding, benefits, or exemptions. St. Anne Catholic Elementary denied the acceptance of a child with same-sex parents. With these two petitions, you have one in favor and one against. As is said in Petition 1, respectfully, we believe that the decision to deny a child of God's access to such a wonderful community and education based on the notion that his or her parent union is not in accordance with the Church's teachings in sacramental marriage lacks the compassion and mercy of Christ. In Petition 2, it is stated, "We do not feel it is respectful of such individuals, nor is it fair, loving, or compassionate to place their children in an educational environment where the values of the parents and the core principles of the school conflict." However, many of the petition signatories argue that St. Anne already accepted students whose parents' marriages are not consistent with the Church's ideas of traditional marriage. For example, children born with in vitro fertilization, and those whose parents are divorced. Also, St. Anne accepts non-Catholic students and their families. Accepting these students negates any valid and legal argument St. Anne would be able to propose. Walgreens recently had a discrimination allegation. The arrangement changed when the Food and Drug Administration allowed Plan B to be sold over the counter. In June 2018, 35-year-old Nicole Artigui was denied a prescription for a Plan B pill to end a unviable pregnancy. She quoted, "I left Walgreens in tears, ashamed and feeling humiliated by a human who knows nothing of my struggles but feels it is his right to deny medication prescribed to me by my doctor." End of quote. This Walgreens in Arizona is one of 6 states that allows pharmacies to refuse to provide contraception on religious or moral grounds. This is justified through the Conscience Clause. The Conscience Clause came into extension in 1992 after abortion was considered a constitutional right. The Church Amendment passed with a strong vote. Under the Civil Rights Act of 1964, segregation on the grounds of race, religion, and national origin was banned at all places of public accommodation. No longer could minorities simply be denied service. The First Amendment ensures that religious organizations and persons are given proper protection as they seek to teach the principles that are so fulfilling and so central to their lives and faith. Nevertheless, while those religious and philosophical objections are protected, this is a general rule that such objections do not allow business owners and other actors in the economy and in the society to deny protected persons equal access to goods and services under a neutral and generally applicable public accommodations law.